Hello. Happy Monday, everyone. Oh my goodness. So, I have a technique for you today, and I'm calling it the diagonal split card front. It is a way to show off your designer paper. All right, and it's really simple to make too. For those of you who don't know me, welcome, hello and welcome to Creating with Kristina. My name is Kristina Reese, and this is my tutorial that I do. So I do them every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on my Facebook page, 9:30 a.m. Central Time. That's here in Texas in the United States. And I just share card tutorials with you. On Mondays, I try to share a technique. Wednesdays, we have card challenges, and Friday, I do Fun Fold Friday. So welcome, and thank you so much for joining me. And I have some people here already. I have I want to say Tanya, but I'm not sure if that's correct. Tonia. Good morning. Linda Hodge and Kim and Terry. Hello, everyone. All right. Let's go ahead and do this. And one more thing, if you have not done so, signed up for my newsletter, I really encourage you to do so. Not only will you get the latest information like on my card kits or a sale that's coming up, but I also send out an exclusive card tutorial just for my email subscribers, okay? And I try to do that, well, at least once a week. Let's go on to this card. I'm going to move everything out of the way before I switch over here. All right, here is our work surface. And this card is, you first just start off with a simple base, okay? 5.5 by 8.5, and you score it and fold at 4 1/4. So that's just a traditional card base. Then your designer paper, and we affectionately call it DSP for designer series paper, the DSP. And like I said, this technique is a technique for us to kind of show off in a fun way our designer paper. So let's just tape that on there real quick. And it's just cut at 4 by 5 1/4. So these two pieces we do almost on every card, these two steps. Right, but this next step's a little different. This is also good if you have, well, it's a little twisted. Let's see if I can get that on there a little more straight. If you have some cardstock scraps that you can cut into 4-inch squares, okay? You need a 4-inch square, and the reason is because you cut it 4 inches here, and we want it to go all the way in to the edge. So a 4-inch square, and you can, this 4-inch square, you can do the same color as your card base. You could pull in another color from your designer paper like I've done here. You might want to emboss it. So I've embossed it with the bark embossing folder. And I love this because it can go either way. It can go up and down like a tree, or it can go sideways. And I love it. And front and back both look good. Another thing you could do with your 4-inch square is you could stamp on it and make it a type of designer paper. And of course, the third way is you could just use another piece of designer paper. But you kind of want a solid, or at least a tone on tone for this part. All right, now once you have your 4-inch square, you're gonna cut it. So let me get out my trimmer, and we're gonna cut it. Remember, the name of this is called the diagonal split card front. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my paper, and it doesn't really matter how much of a diagonal. You can do a real sharp diagonal, or you could do a real light diagonal, however you want it. You can do a lot, like a little at the top and a lot at the bottom. You could try to do it in the center, however you want it done. And you just cut it at a diagonal. So it doesn't matter where, just at a diagonal. Now, once you have that, now what we're going to do is we're going to stick this up with some dimensionals. Gotta have our dimensionals. All right, so turn this over, and I like to put at least one in each corner. More if you really want to make sure it stays popped up. Okay, so I'm going to put, because this is a pretty large space between those two dots, I'm going to put it there, and then I'm just going to take these off of here. All right. And now we are just going to lay this on top, matching up the edges, just like that. All right. Right now, that's pretty cool looking. But now when we take this piece, we're going to put it at the top. And once you have this part done, then all the rest of it is just you decorating and designing it however you want. You can just put a simple sentiment tag on there, or you could do a whole bunch of stamped and cut out images. You make a big bouquet or a nice cluster, whatever you want. And this one, I'm using the gingerbread and peppermint product suite. So I'm going to get out some gingerbread cookies for this one. There we go. So there is what the card looks like before you start decorating it. And I'm going to lift it like that so you all can kind of see how it just kind of gives that designer paper a new look. All right, instead of just cutting a strip and taping it on there. Okay. All right. Now, like I said, this is the frosted gingerbread, the peppermint and gingerbread product suite. And I've cut out 2 of the cute little gingerbread cookies here. And we're going to stick these on there. And you also want to make sure you're not, if you're going to glue them on here, you don't want to glue down here. You'll have it kind of at an angle. You could put a dimensional back here. But if you put a dimensional on this side, you're going to get it double layered. So however you want to do it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick a dimensional down here. All right, and then some tape up here. Glue might have been easier, but that's all right. There we go. Make sure, take the dimensional backing off. There we go. And one more time, making sure I do this right. All right, so we're going to put that pretty high up because I'm going to put another one on here. There we go. And now this little guy. Now he doesn't need dimensionals because he's going to use the dimensional there, and we just need tape on both sides. There we go. And we'll go straight up and down. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to go over here so I don't cover up so much of the designer paper. There we go. All right, so we have our gingerbread cookies on here. Now we just need our sentiment. And of course, we're going to put, "You are the icing on my gingerbread." And I'm just going to stick that right across the gingerbread cookies right here on just a strip. And I'm going to use, let's see what color we have. And that's the other thing I love about Stampin' Up! Is all the colors. I can just pick, do I want that green? Do I want that red? Do I want that brown? What color do I want? I'm thinking we haven't used the green. We have a lot of red. We have a lot of brown going on. But it is gingerbread, and I do like that cinnamon cider. So let's go with the cinnamon cider. Forgot to pull it from the shelf. Ink. And we'll put our... And yes, I did. I got ink on me. Oh my goodness. I love it. You guys are from everywhere. I've got Diane from Arizona and is that Ray? Yeah, probably Ray. Ray from Chicago. Hey Greg, I haven't seen you well, I know you've been here, but I just haven't seen your name, and I caught your name this time. Like I said, these names kind of go up pretty quickly. So I just catch them as I look up. So good to see you here, Greg. All right, so now I've got you're my icing on my gingerbread. I need to trim it down. Of course, you could use a shape punch, whatever you wanted, but sometimes I just like a nice old-fashioned straight line. And I don't want to cut off the little swirls there. Okay. That looks good. Make sure that's straight. Okay. Oh, that works. All right. Sometimes there's a trick. You know, when your cardstock does not line up on an actual line on the trimmer, the lettering, I can use this beveled mark on the ruler here, and I've just lined up all the letters on that. And then that way I know I'm getting it straight with the actual stamp. And same thing here. Now this time I don't have much to work. I can't hold on to anything here. So I'm just going to have to guess. Well, actually, I don't have to guess. Look at that. It lines up with that line. Perfect. All right. Now, once you have it there, be careful as you lay this back down because, like I said, there's nothing really to hold on to. There we go. Now I've got it. An easier way to do this would to have been cut the paper out at the correct size, but you know, that would be too easy, right? There we go. Now we've got it. This out of the way. And we are ready. And we're just gonna put that right there. You are the icing on my gingerbread. Pretty simple, huh? You can put some ribbon on here, some bling on here, whatever you want. Be careful on how thick you make your layers, though. You don't want your card so thick that it won't go through the postal machines. That's what I'm trying to say. When they cancel your stamp and go through that machine. All right. You guys like it? So this was a super easy technique. Like I said, all you need is a 4-inch square of either cardstock or another designer paper that doesn't, you know, that doesn't blend in too much with the one that you're using here, like a tone on tone or something. And then just decorate it. That's all there is to it. I hope you guys like this. If you all make some cards like this, please post them on our Facebook group. We have a private Facebook group called Kristina's Creative Stampers. And then we have this public business page called Creating with Kristina. I know Facebook can get kind of confusing, but if you just remember, groups are private and pages are public. All right. So if you don't want to post something public, put it on our group. And if you're not in the group, just ask to join. You need to answer 2 of the questions. If you do not answer the questions, you just hit the join. You don't see the 2 questions. It'll say has not answered questions, and I will not accept you because I don't want just anybody in the group. I want people who really want to be stampers and get inspiration and share and participate with the group. So I ask you to answer the questions. All right, that's all there is. And also don't forget about the newsletter. If you have not signed up for that, please do so. You all have a wonderful week, and I will be back here on Wednesday for Card Challenge Wednesday. Bye, you guys.